and sisters, welcome to episode 3. The ramen 2. Right, first up we need to give all our bones a good wash. Next up, sort out your stock pot. Okay, so I've got 4.5 kilos in there, and I'm working on the basis that you need 3 times as much water. So I've got just under 15 litres of water. I'm going to bring that up to the boil. Now, as this heats up, you'll notice that the water turns pink and the little particles start coming to the top. Now, after a while, it will go away, or it will appear to go away. But if you just cook this stock and just skim it, the problem with the stock is it will be brown, not creamy white. The reason is hemoglobin and myoglobin. The hemoglobin is the pigment that causes blood to be pink, and the other one is what gives the pinkish colour to the muscles. Because we're heating the bones up in the water, and what's happening is the muscles are tightening up and they're expelling out these unwanted contents that we don't want. Once this comes up to the boil, I'm going to get the impurities off so I can just make sure I've got those, and then I pour this hot water away. I'm going to wash the living daylights out of them and get rid of any darkness on there that I can. Turns out, one of the key ingredients to a ramen is marigolds. They've got 2 left gloves. Oh no, weird man. That ain't right. I'm suing. So the reason why I want marigolds is I'm going to use this hot water boiler to just basically go over the meat, so I can just make sure that every last bit of impurity is taken off. Super clean bones. I'll tell you what though, it's a fair bit of farting about. That is the weirdest feeling on the planet. But they do look great. They look a lot cleaner, they look really white. But to be honest, I'm super paranoid now because I'm going to cook these babies for hours and hours and hours. What happens if by tomorrow the stock's dark? Okay, heat on, and let's start again. You can really tell the difference this time as it comes to the boil. You know, there's a small amount of impurities coming to the top, but the water's absolutely clear. There's not a hint of pink. Like, now I'm excited. Oh, I can't wait. My ramen baby. Okay. Takes forever to make ramen. I've reduced it down to a simmer. It's just tickling over. I'm going to leave it overnight. It's what we used to do in the restaurant. It should be fine. I've turned it right down. Hopefully it doesn't burn the place down. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So this guy has now been on for 24 hours, and as you can see, it's really looking the part. It's really milky. I've been skimming it and I've been topping it up with water throughout that time. Now it's time to get the pork shoulder in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically simmer that pork shoulder in the stock so it infuses the shoulder and the shoulder's flavour permeates into the stock. It's the traditional way to do it, and I'm going to cook it for 2 hours. While the pork's cooking in the broth, I'm going to get the burnt garlic oil ready. So follow me. Right, brothers and sisters, so I've basically cooked the garlic so it's like really brown. And so what I'm going to do now is just get them into here. That hasn't worked. Okay. This time what I did is I turned the oven right up to full, so it's a super hot heat, and so it's really blackened the outside, but inside you've still got soft garlic, right? Let's get that in and see what it does. So I'm gonna let that sit overnight, and then I'll pass it in the morning. It's gonna be so cool on top of the ramen. For the veg part that goes in the stock, let's start with the onions. Now you could just drop the onions in, but that would be too simple for ramen. You know, ramen's not about being simple, it's about obsession, yeah? About getting as much flavour on top of flavour on top of flavour. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the onions, I'm gonna peel them, and then I'm gonna cut them into super big fat wedges. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to caramelise them on this pan and get them really gnarly and really brown. And what that's going to deliver is umami sumami. Whoosh. Breathe, John, breathe. It's going to keep amping up the flavour. So, nice, big and fat because it's still moist in the middle, but caramelised as hell on the outside. Shoulder in there for 2 hours. The most important thing for this pork product is that I keep it moist, and I'm just going to put a load of moisture in with the pork, and then I'm going to let it cool down. And the fact that it's got all this moisture and these juices will keep it nice and moist. Right, people. End of day 2, nearly. Soup's been going for something like 36 hours. I'm going to let it go overnight, and that will take it up to 48. And it's just simmering. Pork's done, it's in the fridge, and it's cooling down. And the burnt garlic oil is done and should develop a much stronger flavour overnight. That's me done. I'll see you in the morning. Right, morning people. Day 3. It's now been cooking for 48 hours. It's looking pretty handsome. Most importantly, it's got that beautiful white creamy look to it. I'm going to get the vegetables in, and then I'm going to crank it up. I've got the onions that I've caramelised and made beautiful. I've got 150 grams of ginger. I've got 150 grams of garlic. 2 apples which I've taken the cores out of. Let's get those in. Don't forget your kombu seaweed. I'm going to drop 2 or 3 sheets of that in. Okay people, 12 hours is up, time to pass it through a fine sieve and see what we've got. Okay, so the stock is done. I've got about 4.5 litres, and yeah, it's creamy, it's rich, the depth of flavour is insane. I didn't think it would take this much effort and this much time. Like, it's not just been that it took me 3 days, but it's the first time that I've ever put 3 videos out in a week. So I've been getting up at 5 o'clock every morning, editing, then coming here and shooting, then editing till like 11 at night. I feel like Casey Neistat. The flavour is immense, like the depth of flavour and the creaminess that's in that stock. I can't wait to serve it up. So there's clearly going to be an episode 4. Episode 4 of the Ramen Not So Mini series. And next week I've got 2 top chefs from London, including Tom from Bone Daddies, coming down, and I'm going to be serving up my ramen soup. Now, what toppings should I serve them? I'm obviously going to be using the burnt garlic oil, and I'm also going to be doing the pork shoulder. But what else do you want to see on the menu? Let me know in the comment box below, and I've got time to get that sorted. Increase the pace.